October was a jam-packed month. Just when we thought the walking was over, this past Saturday, Deonna, Bianca, family, and friends attended the Susan G. Komen 5K race for the cure. It was a beautiful Saturday to support this cause. The race was held at Soldier Field in Chicago, and there were many supporters. To find out more about this organization, visit Komen.org. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of Beauty is Me. The butterflies are back for more. We would like to thank Tasha, Shanette, Adrian, Alicia, and Deonna for sharing their stories. We would also like to thank Yolanda Ross for her work on and off screen. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share. Catch us in the live chat and enjoy the show.
I have a question to pose to Yolanda, Bianca, and Shelly. As being women who support women who have this diagnosis and going through this journey, what advice would you give to someone on how to best support a loved one going through this cancer journey, or specifically, Yolanda, for artists who have the opportunity to emulate the lives of someone going through something? How would you, what advice would you give someone to, use their platform in support of any type of, cancer diagnosis or critical illness?
I mean, I'll just say, like, for me, listening to people, listening is super important, because I feel for friends, family members, if you're there for them, that's the biggest thing, just being there, you know, because sometimes nobody knows what to say, but just being there, I think, is huge. As far as an artist, it's being around people. It's being around. It's asking questions that maybe we don't even want to ask, but it's all those little things that make a difference, because we might not be saying something, but for a cancer survivor to see it and recognize it is a very real thing, you know.
I think for me, this, cry at home, cry in the car, and then show up for your friend, and treat them normal.
Yeah.
I think for me, I had lost my husband maybe the year before you were diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
So I had, people who would just avoid me altogether because they don't know what to say, or they'll want to sit in your face and cry or be sad. And it's I don't need that either. So I think when Deonna, when you were diagnosed, it was more like, girl, you want to go to TJ Maxx? I'm going to treat you regular, but I'm going to be here for whatever you want to talk about. But I'm not going to keep bringing cancer to your door. How about cancer today? How's, I'm definitely going to ask you how you're feeling and, be there for whatever you want to talk about. But I'm not going to come sit in your face and be all solemn and whatever. If you're on high spirits today, girl, we in high spirits. Let's go to lunch. If you're not feeling good, what you need me to get? You want me to bring you some food? Whatever, just be there and leave your feelings in the car.
Yeah.
Before you come in.
Yeah. Same for me. When I was told the news, my frustration was to throw a stock, and I was so upset. But Deonna, one thing that you kept telling us was, "Don't treat me like I have cancer. Like treat me normal, treat me regular," and that's all she had to say. And whether it be starting this podcast, planning a trip, starting our own business, those are the things that we did, and we didn't make it the topic of conversation all the time. It was, if she wanted to talk about it, great. If not, we're rolling. So yeah. Yeah, that for me.
And that was greatly appreciated as well, because definitely I had those family members and friends who shied away from me for not wanting to say the wrong thing. I had the friend that walked through the door crying buckets and I'm like, what's happening here? Like, we're not doing that. Get it together, So you get all those things, You get the people that come up to you and want to share stories of other people, and sometimes it takes a wrong turn. Yeah. I told them there was a guy that came to sell me windows, right? And I was one with my husband, like, I don't even know why he took this appointment. We should have just waited, but he didn't know how to say no, whatever. So the guy comes, he gives us his spiel, and then I said, well, we can revisit this in a few months. And I kept saying that, but he kept rebutting. And at some point, my husband said, well, my wife is actively in cancer treatment for breast cancer, so I think that's why she doesn't want to make a large purchase right now. And the guy was like, felt like he was probably hit with radiation. He didn't know what to say. So he starts telling me about his grandmother and how she had breast cancer, and then she had all these other cancers after that, including it spread to her eye. She lost her eyeball. And I'm like, sir, this is definitely not helping me. And I'm definitely not buying these windows. So, but I think he just didn't know what to say. So he just like threw up on me about his grandmother. So it was like a good thing too is I laugh at things that are inappropriate. So I have a weird sense of humor. So I'm like, we done got from windows to losing eyeballs. Like what is going on here? Right. So I get it. People don't necessarily know what to do or what to say, but it was important and much appreciated to have two anchors that were like able to just be normal, and then I could extend it to those who didn't know how to be normal. Yeah. So before we let you go, Yolanda, can you tell us what your funniest talent is?
My funniest? Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. Funny. I don't know. I don't know. It's like one thing I know I can do is I can make trumpet sounds with my mouth.
Okay. Can we get a trumpet sound? No.
She always wants
Sound the trumpet.
Just something to lighten the mood a little bit. Yeah. We like to have fun too.
We know you have to go, Yolanda. We love you so much.
Love y'all too, man. This was beautiful. Like, it's so great to see y'all's faces. I wish we could be in person. I would be there if I wasn't working, so I'm happy to be working.
Yeah.
We appreciate your work. I'm like, I learned so much about you when I was getting the information together for the show. So I'm like, now I got to go back and watch all these movies.
Yes.
Right. I'm like, all the little reels and clips I saw. I'm like, man, I think that's really good. I got to go back and watch this. So,
and I'd like to say one more thing before Yolanda goes. She has graciously, as of now, committed to be our host or our guest speaker for our gala next year.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So maybe I'll have some more talents by then.
Your talents are far and wide, much more than people know. Like she was doing the sets for the photo shoot. She was taking pictures. She was telling the makeup artist what to do. I'm like, she did it all.
Yeah.
It was good though. It was.
I was just trying to get y'all where you needed to go on time. Didn't want to take up everybody's time, but I was so thankful that y'all just shared yourselves with me, and and I know it's like a vulnerable time for everybody, so I really appreciate that. And y'all are just beautiful, period.
Thank you, Yolanda.
Thank you so much for your time. We definitely appreciate you.
And we'll let you go.
All right, y'all have a good one. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
I'll lead. What is your biggest self-discovery or revelation after your cancer journey?
I'll go first while you guys think about that. I would say my biggest self-discovery or revelation was to just be present in the moment, like to not be so so mindful of things that you have to do like in the future, or trying to plan everything, because I was definitely like I kept saying this is a major interruption to my regular scheduled program. I don't have time for this. I got work, I got kids, I got family. But I'm like, for one, the pandemic should have taught us that. And then in the midst of the pandemic, to get hit with a cancer diagnosis, it's like, okay, well, I guess I just don't have control of what's going to happen, but I can control the controllables. I can control what I can control. I can choose to be present in this moment, in this space, in this time, and not put so much thought into everything that's going to happen, because God can just uproot my plans at any time, and I'm okay with that, because I know His plans towards me are of good and not evil. So not to say not to plan, but be okay with being interrupted.
What about you, Adrian? What was your biggest self-discovery?
In thinking about that, I think for me, one of my lifelong dreams was to in a novel. I enjoy reading a lot, and writing as well. And I think my discovery about my perseverance came to the forefront. I was able to join in on a project, publish a book in the middle of chemo. So there would be sometimes we were on Zoom writing sessions. All I could do was play jazz for the ladies. I couldn't sit up. I couldn't stay awake. And then when I had a bout of energy or a little spurt of energy, it may have been 3 a.m., I was able to kind of write, towards my chapters. And I think for me, it took my mind not completely off what my body was going through, but it made me so much more grateful that I could do more than just cancer, if that makes sense. And so I just stayed definitely in a humble space, pouring out and sharing. A lot of times I had visitors through the screen door because, again, COVID, but I want to say probably just being able to persevere and recognizing your own inner strength. I just have to give God all the glory for that, because there were just things, as Tasha mentioned, your body experiences, and it can change from day to day. It can change from day to day. And you just don't want to stay in that pool of, oh, what was me? You just got to have something else to focus on and to go through. So I would have to say perseverance is probably one of the most important things that I learned about my own strength during that journey.
Great. So before Shanette and Tasha answer, Alicia is back. Another butterfly.
Alicia Miller is a wife, mother, grandmother, and resident of Chicago. Her family means the world to her, and she did not let the trials of breast cancer stop her from being the matriarch and nurturer that her family depends on. She is a firm believer in keeping a positive mind no matter what your body may have to experience. She is a survivor, warrior, and thriver. Alicia Miller.
Hello.
Hi, Alicia.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
Yeah.
for being here. Alicia was also a
Thank
part of the
you.
project. She got to do the photo shoot on the day of the event. She wasn't feeling so well, so she wasn't able to attend the gala, but her photo was there. And we were definitely all keeping her in our prayers and in our spirit throughout the whole project. And eventually, we all met up with Yolanda back at her house and delivered her photo to her.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
Very cool.
How did you feel getting your photo presented to you by all the fellow butterflies?
I was excited. I love it. Look, it's on the wall now.
Yeah,
Oh,
see it
oh,
behind
that's
you.
beautiful. Oh, that is gorgeous.
yes. So how have you been feeling, Alicia? How you been doing?
I'm okay. Taking it easy.
Yeah.
Walking by that picture every day, you know, you gotta feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question we were asking was, what was the biggest revelation or self-discovery you learned about yourself after or during your cancer journey?
That I was stronger than I thought I was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Able to
that's
get through the toughest of times.
Mhm.
Yes. And I know you have a large family. You got kids and grandkids and your husband and everybody. That supportive village is always helpful. And I know the little
Yeah.
kids keep you going, keep you happy, keep you smiling, and probably keep you fussing
Every
a little
day.
bit.
Every day.
And Shanette, what was your biggest self-discovery or revelation that you learned about yourself?
It was discovering who Shanette is,
Yes.
realizing the possibilities. I was able to create through my uncertainty of going through cancer, just kind of figuring myself out as a whole. Allowing myself to challenge myself more. I stopped holding back on things that I was afraid of doing. So it kind of let me release a lot of fears that I had. And it just taught me who I was and who I could be and about any possibilities, anything that's possible now going forward, and how to just release the fears and just fly and see what happens.
Yes, definitely.
What part of Africa did you go to?
Cape Town, South Africa.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. Very cool.
And
Yeah.
then, Tasha, what about your
Self-discovery.
self-discovery or revelation you learned about yourself?
Well, evident of that topless picture.
Yes.
that I discovered my bravery.
Yes.
I discovered my courage. I discovered that my breasts do not define who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I discovered the love that I have to give and the love I'm open to receive. Being an only child kind of forced me to do everything by myself growing up. And I discovered that I'm not alone.
Yes.
I persevered, I pushed through, and unlike Deonna, the same but different, I look forward to things. So I have my calendar, and my calendar is always filled, so that when I turn over my calendar, oh, that's happening. I look forward to that. So if I'm not feeling well, I'm going to press my way and I'm going to push, because that's something I'm looking forward to. And just to say this and ending my conversation, there was someone that I met probably about 10 years ago. She kept saying, I want to see my granddaughter graduate from high school. I want to see my granddaughter graduate from high school. And she was very ill. And in her mind, she said, I'm going to make it to that day.
Mm-hmm.
We saw her granddaughter graduate from high school. A week later, she passed away.
Yeah.
So looking forward to something kind of gives you that umph.
Yeah.
It gives you that umph. It puts more energy and more survival mode in your umph. So that's what I learned, how to just persevere. As Butterfly Adrian said, persevere. As Butterfly Shanette says, push through and do it. As Butterfly Deonna says, make it happen. And Alicia is living day by day, every day, celebrating life. So I love my lady so much. and just keep pushing and celebrating and inspiring others, because your story means something and your story is a testimony.
And Tasha, I know you're gonna head out soon. You, Shanette, and Adrian. What's next for the Butterfly Foundation or the Tasha C. Joyner Foundation? I was like, I just keep calling it the Butterfly.
That's okay, because the Tasha C. Joyner Foundation only bears my name, but it belongs to the Butterflies. This is their foundation. They are ambassadors. They're the ones that's coming in, crossing the threshold of the Butterfly Garden, getting what they need so that they can go out and spread the word and help someone else. So what's next for us? We have a new chapter. We are publishing a book in 2023. We are having a new location. We're finally getting our gala. As I mentioned at our Pillow Talk last Thursday, for those who weren't there, we have 400 people on a wait list waiting for the gala, because the last gala was in 2019. So everyone is texting us, emailing us. Are you doing a gala for 2023? Are you doing a gala? Are you doing the stroll? Yes, we are. So we are doing big things. And it's all about saving lives. It's about celebrating life after cancer. And Deonna and Adrian and Shanette and Alicia, we are celebrating our life after cancer. And we don't look like what we've been through. And when someone sees us, yes, this is our new normal. But guess what? We're pushing through and we are celebrating every single day.
Every day.
Can someone get connected with the foundation, whether newly diagnosed, whether they want to make a donation? Can you give the website and how they can reach out?
Absolutely. www.Tasha C. Joyner Foundation, and that's spelled TATISA C Joyner, JOINER Foundation.org. You can reach out to us there, email us there. We have ambassadors who are checking our website daily, and our phone number is public, 312-856-2740. You can text us there as well, and we will reach out, do an intake, and pair you with someone who is going through what you're going through at that moment, or who has already gone through what you've gone through. And we want to make sure that you are going to get through this in flying colors and flutter and spread your wings.
Yes. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, for the month of October, proceeds from Cafe Coco Latte will be donated to the foundation. So you can get some great coffee and support a Rotary cause, or you can simply go to the website and make a direct donation to the foundation. All donations, of course, are welcome.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. I know a few of you ladies have to go. We really appreciate your time. It was your stories are just, I have no words. Your stories are just
very moving.
Yes.
For sure. Very moving, and I think it kind of brings in a sisterhood that everybody should feel like they would want to reach out to an organization like yourself, and also get involved too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're all members of a club that nobody would actively join, but it's like, since cancer was brought to our doorstep, we might as well, support each other, embrace each other, have fun. We have a lot of fun too.
We do have a lot of fun. I want to recognize Butterfly Shanette. When I first met this powerhouse woman, I mean, her body is amazing. I don't know why she's not modeling on the cover of Vogue and everything. When she showed up at our gallery with that pink jumpsuit on, I was like, baby, she is doing it. And I also want her to share that her 10-year anniversary of being a warrior survivor, she's having an event. So Shanette, talk about your event.
Yes, I'm having a slight turn-up event. So I'm gonna be it's at the M Lounge. That's in the city. I can send the information in the group. It's gonna be Saturday night. It starts at 9. So if you guys are able to come through and just enjoy the moment, it's a lot, because if you would have told me like 10 years from today I would be here, I would be celebrating this milestone. I'm going back and forth and I'm so overwhelmed, but it's it's a good feeling, and I just keep thinking like, wow, this is me, and I just reminisce back to the surgeries I've had and the chemo that knocked me off my feet, and still raising my kids, and still the radiation, and just going. It's been a journey, so it's gonna be a real lit celebration.
Very
Snap,
good.
snap, snap. When I saw the Woman King last night, I think about our ladies. I think about what warriors we are. When we fight a battle, we win that battle. When we put our mind to doing something, we set our mind on that, we succeed and we do it. So warrior Shanette, warrior Adrian, warrior Alicia, warrior Deonna, keep fighting the good fight and keep doing what you're doing and showing people this is what survival looks like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Amen. Amen.
And if we could just go around, let everyone say their last comment. Alicia, what would you say to a woman who's newly diagnosed, or what do you want other survivors to know about, this whole experience and this journey?
I would tell them to stay positive, stay focused, believe in yourself, and never give up.
Yes. Adrian?
I would say take one day at a time, get good nutrition, good rest, keep laughter and love at the forefront of your life, and don't look at it as though it's a sentence of doom. It's an opportunity for you to walk in purpose. And it's okay sometimes to just be still. That's part of healing also.
Yeah.
Don't be hard on yourself. Realize it's okay to not be okay, but just learn how to persevere, learn how to move forward, move through it, and just create your narrative. Keep fighting.
Yeah. And I would say take the time to get with a supportive network. If you're here in the Chicagoland area or not, you can still be a butterfly. But if not the butterflies, get your supportive network that's right for you, and just push through. You're stronger than you think, and you're resilient, whether you believe it or not. Yeah. And I'll let our Madam Butterfly close us out.
I would say know your worth. Know who you are and whose you are. Know that you are greater, bigger, and better than cancer. That's just a word in a dictionary. You are the word. You are the truth. You are the light, because God is through you and in you and around you. So know who you are and whose you are. Those are my closing words.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One other thing, Tasha, I'm sorry, that was your closing word, but can you also explain why you call us butterflies?
Absolutely. I coined the ladies in the foundation, the butterflies, because of the metamorphosis. When you go into that cocoon, you start out as a caterpillar. That's your diagnosis. Now you go into that cocoon, and that's where everything happens. You're making a decision to survive. You are making a decision to break out of that cocoon and be colorful and free, cancer-free, like a butterfly. So that's why we are called the butterflies.
Yes.
Amazing, ladies. Thank
And
you so
on
much.
that note,
The butterflies have things to do. They got a flitter. They got places to go, people to see. So we appreciate your time today.
thank you. This has been so much fun, educational. Just love to see the sisterhood
Yes.
of butterflies, and how you guys just band together as a group.
Team. And I can see a reason to bring everybody back on the show. We got to talk Africa. We got to talk jazz with Adrian. And then, Tasha, we're going to need you to send some of these business meetings with us and make some people tell us yes. And Alicia, for everything that we else that we need today. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Enjoy the rest of your day, ladies.
Bye, ladies.
Thank you.
So,
You all.
You
Love
all.
you all.
Well,
That was amazing.
it definitely was. Speaking to everybody, it was a few moments there where I was just quiet and thinking to myself, like, if I were in their shoes, you know what I mean? And it's so easy to be in anyone's shoes. Like, life just comes at you. You don't know, what's going to happen. You just deal with it or learn to live with it or fight through it or persevere through it or, all the things through it. Yeah. And it was just so inspiring to me to just, like, live. Absolutely. You know what I mean? All the things that you sit and say to yourself, like, if I could just do this, if I could just stop doing this, or if I could just, like, why? Well, I can. Yeah. I can. Yeah. If
it's like no excuse zone. Like, if Shanette can start running after getting a stage 4 cancer diagnosis, who am I to say I can't do it? And
10 years later, she's having a whole lituation.
A whole lituation. I'm like, can we go there?
Yeah, I know.
Yes. Wait, before we head on out, we got one more special butterfly to celebrate. So let's get that going.
Deonna Warlow was diagnosed with breast cancer December 2020 after getting her first routine mammogram, having turned 40 a few months earlier. Unfortunately, this was not her first encounter with cancer. In 2015, she was diagnosed with thyroid cancer while pregnant with her daughter. The thyroid cancer was treated by surgically removing her thyroid with no chemo or radiation. Breast cancer, however, was a different experience. 20 rounds of chemo, double mastectomy, and forever change. Deonna is a wife, mother, entrepreneur, and humanitarian. She chooses to walk through life's challenges gracefully, trusting God every step of the way. She shares her story as a message of peace, love, and hope to women facing breast cancer.
Yes, we have our very own butterfly, guys.
Flutter.
Yes.
So I'll say a couple things. Like I said earlier, when I initially got the diagnosis, I didn't feel sad or feel like I was dying. I just felt like I don't have time for this. I had decided to bring my kids out of the public school system for COVID and homeschool them. So me and my husband we were in a groove of homeschooling, and I'm like, this, and we were still working full time, working from home. So we were doing our 9 to 5 and then homeschooling in the evening, and we had our little whole setup going. Everything was flowing well. And then it's like, well, now I got to incorporate chemo and what I'm going to do with the kids. Now they want to put them back in school. But, God makes provisions for everything. My mom had recently started a daycare, so we were able to transfer them to her and just provide the curriculum. It was an awesome experience for them to get to spend every day with grandma because, kids love grandma. They can be with grandma every day and still feel like they need more grandma time. And they also, my cousin, who's also their godmother, was helping my mom with the daycare. So they also got to spend time with their godmother, which my daughter started calling her fairy godmother, but whatever. So it was like, that was just provision made before I even knew that I was going to need said provision. Yeah. Then throughout the process of chemo and I didn't have to do radiation, but chemo and surgeries and all that, I did lose my hair. I was unsure of how that was going to resonate with my children. And my youngest daughter, who y'all met, Zoe, she was like, oh, when I did the buzz cut first, she said, you cut your hair. I said, yeah. is it okay? Because everybody else was telling me I was still cute, but I knew Zoe was going to keep it real with me.
You
and
were cute.
She was like, don't get me wrong, you're cute. But your haircut looked like daddy. I was like, okay, I can take it. I can take it. Not too bad. That wasn't bad. But then when all the hair comes off, I'm like, something that we really don't think about or talk about much is not only do you lose the hair on top of your head, but it's total body hair loss. There were times I really didn't want to walk past the mirror because I felt foreign to myself. Like, who is this? You know? Like,
Yeah.
So it's not always a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was definitely freeing to some degree. You know, to be like, well, I don't have to worry about, you know, plucking my eyebrows or getting the little extra hairs off my face because there's no hair there. Now I'm trying to figure out how to draw in a little eyebrow. Thank God for cranial prosthetics.
Come on.
And, you know, it's just a lot that we as women, you know, we want to feel pretty. We want to look pretty. We want to, you know, feel all the feels that we feel when we feel like we're at our best. So I also, having been diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, the doctors, the breast cancer community, you know, they tell you, well, you really can't say you're cancer free or accept your cancer free status until you hit the 5-year milestone. Because triple negative breast cancer has a high incidence of reoccurrence. So the first 5 years, they feel like, don't get too excited. But post chemo, I had what's called a complete response to chemo. So the chemo obliterated the tumor. There was no tumor remains. And then post surgical, they do a test to make sure there's no residual cancer. And that also came back NED or no evidence of disease. Period. So I was like, you know what? I don't have to wait 5 years. But that was something that the butterflies helped me embrace as well, because the day that Yolanda came for her, you know, research to get into character, one of the ambassadors felt like something wasn't sitting well with me. So she was like,
it's okay. You making it good.
No, I'm like, I did.
You making it good.
She said, what's going on, Deonna? Like, how are you feeling? And that day, mostly everybody that was in the meeting were further along in their journey. And I was like, I just don't like it here. You know, I don't like being the newbie.
You don't like being a newbie?
No, I was like, I want to be 5 years out. I want to be telling people like, you know, this isn't forever, and you know, things are gonna be better. And she was like, well, what does 5 years out look like to you? Like, what is it? What does it mean? Why 5 years?
Yeah.
She said, start writing it down, start journaling about, you know, what the 5-year milestone means for you, or what you want to do when you hit the 5 years. And it is definitely something to be said about, you know, writing it out. Writing the vision, making it plain. And I say be careful what you wish for, because a lot of the things that I said, when I hit the 5 years, I want to be, you know, out front. You know, I want to be able to share my story. I want to be able to inspire others.
And you do it.
But I was like, well, I said, be careful with that, because God was like, oh, you don't have to wait 5 years. We're going to get started right now.
You're right.
It was like a few days later, I'm getting a text message like, hey, we need you for this Beauty is Me project. We need somebody exactly where you are right now in this stage, hair just starting to buzz back, and you know, no breasts and all that. We need you to talk, to be in front right now. And it was like, what?
And that's inspirational because it's great to have the 5-year, 10-year, 3-year person, but if I were a newly diagnosed person, I want somebody that's 6 months in. Girl, what are you doing 6 months in?
You're right.
Like, that's
inspirational
I was
too. Like, maybe by the time we did the gala, I was maybe 9 months in. But yeah, when we did the initial photo shoot, I think I was more like 6 or 7 months in, and I was like, "What, you want me?" But it has,
so amazing.
yeah, it's like, oh, we can accelerate the 5 years. So I've been firmly saying I'm cancer free. I'm not waiting 5 years to say I'm cancer free. Like, I got the complete response. I got the no evidence of disease. So I'm like, it's been sent back to the pits of hell from which it came. It's not coming back. And I'm just going to go ahead and see myself as free. I'm not going to wait for the 5 years. I had a friend ask me, what should I be saying to people if I'm speaking about you, if they ask me about you? Should I say your cancer is in remission? I said, no, sir. Don't tell them it's in remission. That's like giving it permission to come back. No. You go ahead and tell them I'm cancer free.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
cancer has left the building, turned in its key, been evicted. You have a restraining order. You can't come back. You can't be within 1,000 feet of me.
What I love about everybody that talked today, it was just like, it's such a you guys stopped cancer in its track. You know what I mean? I know the famous, F cancer slogan, but you guys truly, brought that to life where you said, no, this will not take over any plans that I have. This will not make me do anything other than think positive. And I just remember hearing your story, Deonna, and the one thing that I told you, I said, you're going to help people. Mm-hmm. And when we started this podcast, I had no idea that we would get to this point, but I remember a conversation that we had, and we said something like, eventually it would be a good show to have to talk about your journey, and just the fact that we are here and we're able to have all of the butterflies here, the honorary butterflies. I just thank you so much for helping so many people, because you just made it that much more easier when they go to the hospital and they get their diagnosis, and if they see somebody with a similar story, they know that they can do it too. Yes, so absolutely amazing.
And inspired other people, inspired us. You make it less scary just for me. Yes. To be like, okay, let me go and get this mammogram. Because you'll be like, do you want me to go with you?
She was on it. I'm like, she's not going to leave me alone until I get this mammogram. So let me get this mammogram. And best thing that I could have ever done.
Because crazy enough, because I'm crazy, but y'all love me anyway. It is more bothersome to me when I hear someone else being diagnosed. Like, I've had a couple family members and other friends that have been diagnosed since me. And it makes me, like, I would not wish this on my worst enemy. Yeah. So for anyone newly diagnosed or who's afraid to get a mammogram, the least I can do is support, encourage, educate to the best of my ability. And I'm like, I'm here for it, whatever that means. If you need me to walk you in hand in hand to get a mammogram, if you are having a moment where you need somebody to just let you scream and say what it is, even if it involves, throwing a few profanities in there, judgment-free zone, get it out, having walked in those shoes, I know you go through a range of emotions, sadness, frustration, whatever. So I'm like, I want to get to a place where we can, recognize the precursors and get more support in the Black community for Black women who are dismissed in the healthcare arena and often, pushed to the side, so that we can change the narrative, change the experience, and support each other in love.
We can be strong and wear pink, okay? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we are strong, but we go through it too, and just, you are amazing. So we celebrate your friends.
And I celebrate you guys. I mean, they really, really, really held me down, my nuclear family, like, Zoe was right there in the midst of it all. She was gloving up and helping her dad. I would be remiss not to mention how supportive my husband was through the journey. He was my caretaker, and he took great care of me. And then his little helper was right there. Initially, she was just passing supplies. And then one day he gave her a set of gloves. And she was excited, like, oh, I'm graduating. I'm going to get some wound care. But that first day, she was still just passing supplies. And at the end of it, she ripped her gloves off. Like, I don't even know why you gave me these gloves. You didn't let me do nothing. And it was then we looked at each other like she really wanted to be hands on.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let her like put the tape on the bandage or something. But my husband was delicate and worked with her, and he actually let her like pack wounds and unpack wounds. And I was a little nervous about it, but it was like, he was teaching her and allowing her to be a part of the process. And I think that took away, the fear and the mystery behind it, so that she could understand to the best of her ability at 6 years old what her mom was going through.
Yeah.
My son, who was 7 at the time, he stayed at a greater distance, but he wasn't afraid of me. They never treated me like I wasn't mom. They still asked me for stuff. It was like, moms don't get sick days. We tried to create a barrier because my son is like charged, and he like ran up on me and jumped on me one day. And even though it hurt a little bit, I was like, he was just treating me like mom, like he normally would.
Mm-hmm.
So even that was appreciated. But they cuddled with me, and they, still treated me like mom. And then these ladies came to my house every weekend prepping food, and and took me out and took me to Vegas in between chemo treatments.
You said the time. Look, and I would be remiss to say, during your cancer treatment, you helped a member of my family, my aunt, and the reason why I asked you to do that was because of your attitude towards it. And I know, when anybody hears that word, it's like,
the world stops.
Your breath takes your breath away.
It takes your breath away. And so I wanted her to feel the same way that Deonna felt. Like, I'm going to. So I'm so thankful that you did that when you were going through cancer treatment. So that
became my new Auntie Vanessa. Love you so much. But she's hilarious anyway. But there were moments, we all have our moments. And some days she was like, I don't think I'm doing this no more. And I'll just let her vent that out, because you need to have that. And then I talked to her again. She like, yes, I went back to treatment. I'm like, okay, I knew you would, But you get frustrated sometimes, So, but yes, Auntie Vanessa, we applaud you in pushing through, kicking cancer's butt and taking names, and being you. I got to go to New Orleans with some friends, and we definitely went by, and she cooked for us. And, she fussed with us and laughed with us and did all the things that make her who she is. She's very special to me as well.
So what would you tell a woman newly diagnosed with breast cancer? What would you...
Can we take it back a step? Mm-hmm. What would you say to a woman who is afraid to get that mammogram?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, get the mammogram. Like, not knowing does not help you. Mm-hmm. Do your self-breast exams, but don't trust your own fingertips, because, like, my initial tumor was pretty small, so I didn't feel it. After they poked and prodded and did other stuff to it, then it was a little more pronounced and I could feel it. So do the self-exams. I'm not saying don't do that, but also get your first mammogram. Even if you missed it at 40, go ahead and get it today. There is nothing to be afraid of. Not knowing does not help you. Mammograms save lives. So
or it don't even have to be your first. It could be your third.
If you're behind, and get all your routine exams. Like get your teeth clean, get your wellness visits, do all the things, because they're there for a reason.
But all a part of self-care.
All a part of self-care, and it's like it takes the stress and the weight off your shoulders when you just go ahead and get it done. Even if it comes with a diagnosis, because once you're informed, you are empowered to make the decision on how to treat whatever the illness is.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Please. And ask your fellow women around you, did you get your mammogram this year?
Yeah.
I was asking everybody, even doctors, because doctors spend so much time taking care of patients, they often neglect themselves. Doctors, nurses, whatever. So my doctor, nurses, and all them, I was asking them too, did you get your mammogram this year?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be surprised how many of them say, not yet, but
which is shocking
Yeah. They don't be
My doctor was
taking care of
asking me
themselves.
for weight loss tips, and I'm like, look, I'm in the struggle like that. Like, but that's amazing. But true
They're
to the
people.
fact of what Tasha said, that they are human beings as well as we are.
And they can give you excuses. It's an excuse when a doctor tell you they've been so busy that they haven't got their own routine exam.
Yeah.
But they also are in their heads and do a lot of self-diagnosing.
Right.
And feel like they know their body. And they,
which to you guys' point is the reason why they don't hold the answer, Sway. Look, you don't know the answer, Sway. Like it's get your second opinion. Question them. Ask them why. Ask them what your options are. You know, you can push back on the doctor.
And the greatest question that I think it was my doctor friend who told me, ask your doctor who would they send their loved one to.
Okay.
Yeah. And if they're open enough and honest enough, they can be, free to say this health system or this doctor is who I would want my family member to go to.
Yeah.
So ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so amazing.
I try. I be trying.
We're gonna go through the lithuation. We got galas next year.
Yeah.
We're always doing something, so
I'm like, I gotta get dressed. I was cowed up, like, okay, so I need an outfit for the situation.
So with that, we got a lot of coffee to sell. So visit us at cafecocolatte.com. Order your coffee today. The month of October, you will be going to a absolutely amazing foundation. That's the Tatisa C Joyner Foundation. So again, visit us at cafecocolatte.com, and we'll give you more information in the description as well. So read that too. And
if you do not drink coffee, you can buy it for a family member, buy it for a friend.
The holidays are coming.
Mm-hmm. We got regular and decaf. So if you don't drink regular and you drink decaf, you can buy your decaf. Yes. But a portion of the proceeds go to a great cause. Get in a fight.
Yes.
Get in a fight with.
Because fortunately or unfortunately, we all are either directly or indirectly impacted by this disease. It's growing at a rapid rate in our community, and either someone we love or ourselves are going to be impacted. So we might as well come together to do the work, to raise the awareness, to demand that our stories are heard, and that the proper research is done for us to help us.
Yes.
Help us. So, and with that being said, we definitely appreciate you guys tuning in.
Absolutely.
This has been a great talk, and we've had great guests, and this is I hope this inspires someone to
get a mammogram.
Get a mammogram. Take a look at their own health. See what they can do to help someone diagnose. Don't be afraid of them,
and get a part of an organization.
Be a part of an organization. If you're diagnosed and you just don't want to be here, like Deonna said, she didn't want to be there or don't want to be a part of a group. Sometimes that is what you need to keep your faith up. So
absolutely.
As we always say in parting,
keep
it brewing.
Do, 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 do.